Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. What do you do when you lose a streak? Well, you come back and you give it your freaking all. And you prove that it was a blip on the radar. And when you're the New York Yankees and you lose game 41 after winning 40 in a row, you don't go, oh, well, I guess we'll just throw the rest of the season away. You get back up and you try to get that 121 win streak to finish the season off strongly. 1-4 SV3 TLE. I gotta know what happens here. Every potato peeler is an all stats increase. Should we have gone as far as we did? Oh, absolutely not. That being said, I had to know. I had to. It's unfortunate. I feel, you know, a sense of badness for sure about my last run. We should not have lost. We had enough good items. We just really, it was a small misstep to take chaos, compounded with some pretty bad play, followed by some relatively bad luck. But at any point in that chain, we did have the opportunity to step in and say, hey, you know what? Think about it. Maybe don't take chaos here. It's okay. I mean, it's not like it's a big deal to lose after winning 43 times in a row. Consider that there's an average of, you know, what, 40 minutes per run? Maybe 35? Let's say 30 for simplicity's sake. No big deal. It's just a 22-hour Diablo 2 hardcore character lost to the ether. If at first you don't succeed, pick yourself up and try again. Dust yourself off and try again. Try again. I very much wanted the Spirit Heart, and I think 2 Spirit Hearts is fine. So we'll head down to the next floor. We don't need to use Potato Peeler anymore. I mean, we don't really want to use Potato Peeler anymore unless we get just a bevy of HP we got nothing to do with. Actually, you know what's nice about Potato Peeler? I haven't really considered that much. We can use it as like the antithesis of a strength card. Let's say we got 2 HP. We're taking a 2 HP Devil Deal. We can use Potato Peeler once and turn our extraneous piece of health-related points into an all-stats upgrade. Libra is real dicey, by the way. It's a scary start. But I'm excited for it nonetheless. Perhaps because of the fact that it's a bit of a scary start. So I could kill you, but instead I'm going to save a bomb so we can get through this a little faster. Lots of red hearts we can't do anything with, unfortunately. It's okay, this run's going just fine right now. You know what it means is that, I mean, I love Infamy. Scapular I don't even know how to use, which is embarrassing after this much time spent in this game, but so be it. Thank you for not being a bad trip pill. I will spend 2 keys to get in here. And it's a 5-room. Very interesting, and probably worthwhile. Anyway, sorry, it's 30 degrees Celsius in here right now. I'm freaking out. It's the middle of January. Why is it 30 degrees inside of my room? I need some sort of ventilation here. Again, I can't stress enough, I have AC. I just am a very good husband. And my wife's room is legitimately like 6 or 7 degrees colder. I don't know if that means that our place is extremely well insulated or poorly insulated, but either way, I don't know, I might roll Potato Peeler, but for now, let's at least take advantage of what we got going on here. I don't want to turn on the AC for a couple of reasons. One is, it just feels wrong to turn on the air conditioning in January. The other one is that it's going to turn my wife's office into a freaking meat locker. Sorry, I got a little, not granola throat, I ate some mixed nuts earlier. Meat locker. Okay. So I'm dealing with the heat in the only way I know how, which is to persevere. I don't like the heat to begin with. I think there's 2 kinds of people, you know? Because I'm structuring the bit as if there's 2 kinds of people. There's people who prefer the heat to the cold, and there's people who prefer the cold to the heat. I am a person Hold on, is there a library here? Or is that a double key room again? It's a double key room again. I'm a person who prefers the cold to the heat. I come by it honestly. I have a thick coat of body hair. If it's gross for you to hear, imagine how gross it is for me to live with, you know? You're not always the victim in these situations. Take it from the guy who... Here's how hairy I am, for an example. And I'm not ashamed of it, because I don't have control over it to begin with. Man, that's a bad pill. I am so hairy. How hairy is he? That after, like, if Kate cleans the bathroom, and I go, I need to shower, she goes, okay, but please vacuum afterwards. Because it's just like the hair ambiently, you know, it's like it's a forest, you know? Things are dying, going down to the littoral region, feeding nutrients into the soil, and then coming back up. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but anyway, you get the idea. Where was I going with this? Oh, I think that's as much justification as I need to say that I prefer the cold to the heat. Now, of course, would I prefer to freeze to death or burn to death? That's a question that seems a little bit needlessly reductive. I don't know if that's applicable given our current situation, but I applaud you for coming up with a Northernlion Live Super Show discussion. Maybe we'll have it at a later date. A range upgrade, which is actually an all stats upgrade. Makes up for the pill, at least. Dude, I want Incubus, but I think right now there's enough red hearts that at least we can take advantage of Dark Bum and hopefully turn that into more HP later. Now, do we want Potato Peeler? I don't know. I think actually we prefer the cards for now. We are also going to do this floor over again. I'm committed. I want to win this run. Now, I wish we got another opportunity to go in there and grab that Incubus, but we don't. Life goes on. You know, I was thinking about it because, you know, this weekend, or last weekend, I should say, when we were in Whistler, you know, every hotel basically has a hot tub because it's like, I mean, people that go there to, you know, relax. I've never been much of a hot tub guy, but if you're ever going to go in the hot tub, doing so after like 6 hours of just absolutely destroying, you know, the ligaments in your body as a novice skier is probably the right time to do it. And even then, you know, when I'm in the hot tub, I enjoy myself for like, I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes. And after that, I just start to go like I'm a little woozy, you know, I wouldn't say shortness of breath, but like slightly uncomfortable. It's just too hot. And then I leave, I jump in the cold pool. That's my scene right there. And when the coldness hits you, you go, oh! But it feels good, you know, it enlivens you. But some people definitely prefer the heat to the cold. I'm not one of them. Kate prefers the heat to the cold for sure. You know, I think the physiological differences between us that were outlined earlier probably make that very sensible. I also think it's like there's like a gender divide there. You know, I think guys are more likely to prefer the cold to the heat, given the choice. My parents are the opposite, though. My mom's always like, it's too hot in here. Meanwhile, my dad's wearing like 4 sweaters inside. But, you know, again, it's a nice guy thing to do. I could always sit in my room, sweat it up, take a shower later. Doesn't bother me. That is also, though, why I always laugh when people are like, well, it must be convenient to shower as a bald guy because you don't even have to dry your hair. Well, yes and no. Oh, baby. Thank you for the bomb. I can't believe we still have no HP. Our run is fine. Good would be an overstatement, but it's interesting at the very least. We got familiars kicking around. We got, you know, pretty good attributes. Not amazing, but pretty good. And I am happy to have an orbital, and as of right now, sadly, it feels like it was probably the right decision to take deck of playing cards, or deck of tarot cards, instead of Potato Peeler. Potato Peeler is a little bit more interesting, but you know, without any HP, we literally can't even use it. And that's the least interesting thing of all. So, I will What? I mean, thank you for the HP and the stat increases. And I will take Bomb Bag, but I was fully intending on taking 1 damage there to pick up Red Candle and then be good to go. This run's important for me. It really is. I don't want... And I guess we could roll Book of Sin instead of deck of cards, but I don't know. I like cards, and we got good Spirit Heart coverage. Anyway, what I was going to say is this run's important to me because I don't want to, you know... Oh my. Go down the same path we've gone down with, like, every streak. Where losing a streak throws us into a tizzy from which there is no recovery, you know? If we could avoid the period where we, you know, make bad decisions in Isaac just because the runs seem to mean less, I think that would be a wise idea for us. So what I'm doing right now, I wouldn't necessarily suggest that you at home do it, but I'm doing it for a couple of reasons. If we get Blood Bag, we know it's a good increase to our rate of fire and also our HP and also our damage. Spirit Hearts should not be hard to come by. We're getting money out of it. I don't want to go too deep on this one. Maybe this is the last play. We got IV Bag. How do I feel about IV Bag? I feel extremely good about IV Bag. We'll be grabbing that. Sorry, deck of cards. You've done your part. I appreciate it. But we found a break now. Yeah, I'm feeling good. If we could just get Bloody Lust, we're rolling. I want to... A streak is one thing. Don't get me wrong. And we've kind of decided, I think, as a community that, you know, there's like a split in the community. We need to have a Council of Nicaea or something like that. The split is as follows. M. Night Shyamalan not involved. Go ahead, take it. Unless he wants to be. We could use the funding, honestly. Here's the split. And I want bombs so I can take advantage of Black Hole and then get into that, you know, possible Tinted Rock situation over there. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. You either think that the truest test of Isaac's skill is winning X number of runs in a row, where X is the highest number it could conceivably be, or you think the truest test of Isaac's skill is beating a run as quickly as possible. And I think there's cases to be made for both of those. If anybody out there says that the truest test of Isaac's skill is getting the highest score on a daily, I disagree. I don't think that... I mean, obviously, if you get the highest score on a daily, you're probably amazing at Isaac. But I don't think it makes you the most amazing just because you've got that one arbitrarily decided formula under control. Don't shoot the messenger. That's just one man's opinion. I'm actually worried about the possibility of car battery there. I'm trying to get myself out of that line of reasoning and instead believing that I just want to have my win rate be as high as possible. You know, instead of worrying about, oh, I lost the streak, how about just having fun, number one, and then... I think we still need to do a rerun, by the way, so we should probably sort that out before we try to worry about a streak again in the future. But, what was I going to say? I think just being the best player I can be while simultaneously not losing, you know, my core values in Isaac is probably... It's the way I should approach this in the future. What do you say, you know? Part of that is focusing on the streak, but instead of just like, I gotta win this time... Because we've got a streak going on, it's, I gotta win every time that a win is possible. Because that's the example I want to set for all the little Hulkamaniacs out there. Item room? I am you know, I wouldn't say disappointed. But I'm a little disappointed. We haven't gotten the payouts out of this that I'd be looking for. What am I looking for? Well, anytime we get 2 red hearts paid out, we're loving life because we get to give that to Dark Bum. I feel like we've been a little low on the Dark Bum payout so far. And I'm really willing to give it all she's got, Captain. And he keeps giving me spiders, the son of a gun. How dare you? I'm trying not to lose Spirit Hearts in the process, but I'm kind of losing my mind in the process instead. Okay, there we go. Our first Spirit Heart. in a while at least. Still going. That belongs to me. Thank you for asking. At the very least, you know we're getting money out of this as well. It's not the most exciting way to play Isaac, but I'm just trying to prove that... Okay, we screwed up our Spirit Heart there, but I'm trying to prove that we're able to get, you know, the Spirit Hearts that necessitated the IV bag Bloody Penny situation in the first place. Now, of course, if we can get Bloody Lust, we're in an amazing situation, but that hasn't happened yet, so I'm not going to worry about it. Very slow run so far as well. Don't you dare shoot me with your creep. Well, my DPS is too low to make it out of here easily. And any just ambient red hearts on the ground, as far as I'm concerned, those are the domain of Dark Bum. I have no interest in taking the stuff that's in his purview. I got enough for myself. Probably not a great time to quote Louis C.K., but you know, I gotta admit, dude did some stuff that was not cool, but early in his comedy career, he had some quotes that I still, you know, use, but just with an asterisk. Like when he's talking to his daughter and he says, the only reason you should look in your neighbor's bowl is not to see if they have more food than you, but to see if, you know, they have enough to eat and you could give them some. I think that's is a very good lesson. Now, to some extent, kind of falls on deaf ears as a result of the allegations against him. I'm just saying. He did say some good stuff. Despite the whole, you know, Anyway. We can't fly. Have I not been to the item room? Did I go to the item room and trade items? I'm actually lost. We've spent the last 3 minutes wandering around in a question mark haze. So here's what we're gonna do. You might think that things are looking a little touchy. I would very much disagree. If we're skipping the item room, we're skipping the item room. You know? I don't want to. On the shop here, I think we'll take a pill, and it worked out very well. But we also could have gotten away with nothing. And the bombs are probably a prudent purchase as well. But basically, we're gonna hermit right away and hope that we get some extra HP there. Oh, and this is even better. Dude, we are like 2 floors behind schedule. And the existence of Goathead doesn't give us the win, but it comes pretty close. We'll take Hive Mind for future considerations. I think we'll keep re-rolling here. We have, I wouldn't say an endless supply of money, but pretty close. And, you know, Nightlight is on the verge of being a takeable item, no doubt. But I'm kind of looking for things that are a little bit more interesting. I still think Chaos is very takeable. You probably should not take Chaos right after you get Goathead. But my idea here is that I actually think that we should be able to make the shops better for us than anything else here. Thanks for the Spirit Heart. The ability to buy whatever we would like from the shops, I think, pays substantial dividends here. So far, so good. Well, we will take a theme, and, you know, why not buy a Spirit Heart as well? And I'm going to grab some money just to kickstart my heart here. That belongs to you now. All right, so how do you do this now? I mean, I V-bag a theme. It's got some interesting possible combinations here. Bloody Penny is extremely good here. I think we can afford, as long as the room is large enough, we can afford, yikes, to use half of a heart, even if it's not a red heart. Per floor. Per room, I should say. Could be a secret room. Could have played that a little bit better. But as of this point, it's very, 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 very difficult for us to die. Especially with all the money we're grabbing, which is also giving us red hearts. Like, this is a good start. So I would definitely say we're pretty likely to have not 2 losses in a row. And that's all you can ever ask for. We'll work from that point onwards. Okay, all stats up. All stats way up. And, dude, I will absolutely take Mom's Key, which now I'm realizing might not be the best idea with the existence of IV Bag. But, you know, this is all good. And we're really like on a just a casual run here. A very, very slow but very, very good run nonetheless. Now, let's go back to our item room. It's going to be an interesting weekend. Today's Friday. It's still early on. It's only like 2:30 p.m. and I've done a lot of recording. Dude, I mean, I'll hit you with the anecdote I want to hit you with. I've been playing so much Smash. I mean, I've been handling like my adult responsibilities as well. And I haven't been playing like, you know, 6 hours of Smash a day. But I've been playing Smash basically every day. And I'm loving it. I feel like it's the danger of a year-end list, right? And I know I talk about year-end lists like way too often. And if there's ever a time not to talk about them, it's probably like the second week of January. Third week of January, I guess. Time flies. But this is the danger of a year-end list. Is that like, dude, we still need to keep IV bag, I'm sorry to say. You know, December 31st, 2018, you're like, my game of the year is this. January 20th, which is not today, but it's close. 2019, I'm like, dude, if I could remap the dictionary, I'd put you and I together. But also, I might put SSBU at the very top, sorted by merit. Like, that game is extremely good. I also don't understand, like, I think I've talked about this in episodes before, but I don't know if it's a fighting game community or it's just the nature of the video game ecosystem, but it's also this weird game where when I play it, I wouldn't say that it leads to a toxic community, because people really enjoy it and I've really enjoyed playing it. But occasionally I'll get people that, you know, are otherwise sane, you know, rational adults, and they'll pop into the Menchies on Twitter and be like, I can't believe you're enjoying a children's game this much. And I'm like, what is wrong with video games? And I say this as part of the problem myself. Why do we take everything so seriously, you know? There's got to be some sort of rational, cognitive explanation, you know? For why, you know, when we see that Microsoft has a contract with the Department of Defense in order to build, like, you know, VR drones, nobody bats an eye. But if Bethesda tries to sell us a red dot laser sight in Fallout 76, optionally for $1.50, everybody goes, yo, what the heck, man? Just everybody take it so seriously. Let me hit you with a galaxy brain take. All video games are for children. The young at heart. Now, you probably shouldn't be playing, you know, like Hatred in general, but also if you're not of age. But are we conjoined? No. But I can't believe that there's... And if you're part of the problem here, please listen to what I say with a sober mind without just getting upset. But if you're like, man, I'm so bummed out that all these... It's an all-stats upgrade? All these scumbags are playing Smash Bros. Instead of a real fighting game like Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Like, what are you doing? I think what it is, I don't know. Now I'm getting into spitball territory for sure. I'm just buying whatever items I can get here. But I think that in any fighting game, let's grab this for now, because this is the whole reason we want to go down this chaos path anyways, to facilitate Guppy. But I think the reason, or I think what you want in any fighting game is the knowledge that fighting games are at the most fun when you're winning. That's not to say you can't have fun with when you're losing. I think that depends on your overall level of maturity. When it comes to video games, I get a little salty when I play them sometimes. It's embarrassing. Oh my god. But I think it's like a deep-seated sort of like, your brain goes, hey, if more people play the game that's my main game, they're gonna suck at it first. That's gonna give me some wins, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. So when you see bad fighting game players like myself, oh my god, we are Guppy, and they're playing Smash Bros, there's a natural sort of line in your head. Let's take Book of the Dead, where you go, man, I really wish this guy was playing Soul Calibur 6 instead so I could style on him. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm just saying. Very, very rarely have I had the same sort of people pop into my mentions and be like, you know... Let me put it this way. When I said I really liked God of War, nobody popped in my mentions and was like, actually, the story is quite prosaic by media standards. It's merely the fact that it's in a video game that makes it seem like it's so elevated. I have re-rolled my whole run, but maintained, I was gonna say guppiness, but then I rethought how Google DeepMind might see that, and I thought to myself, let's not. So I don't know where we're at now, but this is a good combination of Zane and success, because we're still guppy. Yes, we have Curse of the Tower, substantially less damage. We lost Libra. Our stats are way worse. In fact, I mean, this run is just much worse in general, but that's okay. We can make it work. I don't want to be an enemy of the gamers. I don't see myself in that light whatsoever. You know, when people are, you know, I've been following this pseudo-controversy about Fortnite. I'm an enlightened scholar. I've seen some H3 videos. I do think that there's a lot of, like, you know, moralizing, hand-wringing over, like, won't somebody think of the children? My kids are playing video games. Meanwhile, I'm watching 4 hours of HGTV a night, you know? I'm just trying to, I want the gamers to meet me on my level, which is stop looking down on some games as being children's toys and start recognizing that all games are children's toys and it's okay to play with children's toys as an adult. Because what are adult toys? Please don't, no grossness, okay? Adult toys are like the calculator that your parents had when you were younger that also has a printer in it, so it prints out all of the math you're doing. That's an adult toy, okay? I don't want to play with that toy. Bro, it's season 6. I ain't got time for that calculator, okay? I'm living La Vida Loca. I don't even know where I am in this run anymore. Yeah, let's go check the item room. I can't believe 25 minutes to get this far, but regardless. I'm mostly just being facetious. I'm just saying. I'm loving Smash Bros. I don't feel the need to apologize for it, obviously. I think that game is extremely good. And if the game is for kids, then awesome, because it makes matchmaking so much easier for me. And, I mean, I've said this myriad times. This is the first time in a while I've felt compelled to actually get better at a video game instead of just win more. And there is a subtle distinction there. Winning more doesn't necessarily require you to get better. You could just self-select so you only play worse people. That's how I want to play Call of Duty for the rest of my life. Oh, I gotta sneeze. However, Smash Bros is a game where I'm like, dude, I want to get better at this. That being said, that'll change up to a point. Because unless you're going to be at the level where you're at least competing in tournaments, at some point it's like a loser's gamble, you know? You ever hear of the Pareto principle? It's the idea, and I might be getting it wrong here, but it's the idea, I think... No, the Pareto principle is the one that's like, you know, 70% of the results are accomplished with 30% of the effort or something like that. So the idea there is, you know, like... I'm trying to think of a good example. When you're working on, like, a school project, you know, some of the time that you invest produces more results than others, I guess, is one way to describe it, you know? Like, writing the rough copy of your essay might be 30% of the work, but it produces 70% of the results. It might be 30% of the time, but it produces 70% of the results. Not my favorite metaphor I've ever made, for sure. I'm trying to think of the one which is... Within any organization, one tends to rise to the level where their own mediocrity is exposed. You know, the idea being that, you know, if you work at a job, you're going to be promoted while you're good at your job until you reach a job at which you're bad at it. And thus, you end up having these organizations where you have a lot of people who are very, very bad at their jobs because they've been promoted too high. They're out of the jobs that they're good at. I would rather not. Thank you for asking, though. That's what MMR is like for me in a fighting game. I actually actively would prefer that my MMR stays low. That's why, like, even though I'm knocking on the door for Elite Smash in that, like, 3.1 million range consistently, I'm happy I haven't been promoted, because once I get up there, I'm going to be playing against people that got to Elite Smash. Right, Ruka? I don't want to be up there. I want to play... I mean, I do want to get better, so I do want to play against good people sometimes. But I also, you know, for the most part, don't promote me, dude. Leave me in the job that I'm pretty good at, where I'm having a lot of fun. I wonder if there's like if there's been any research done into this. I'm not saying that I have the capacity to have created this incredible principle, but I do think that in competitive games, you know, maybe the reason I wash out of so many of them after a while is because you just play until you get good enough that you play people that are too good. And all of a sudden you stop having fun. Or at least I stop having fun. I don't know how you design around that, or if really I should be designing my brain around that, but you get what I'm saying, maybe. Really depends on how you see video games, too. You know, should you design video games in order to produce maximum enjoyment? Or, I don't know, maybe in a fighting game, you don't want to produce maximum enjoyment. I know that sounds insulting, but I really mean it. Like, maybe in a fighting game, you're like, I don't want max enjoyment. I want max sweatiness. In which case, you know, there's room for that. I'm sure. Verb. So we're going to win very, very quickly after taking a while on this run. I don't know. These are the game design questions I find interesting. Different strokes for different folks, for sure. Some people are like, you know, what's better, hit scan or real bullet physics? Some people are like, what's better, free to play or, you know, buy once, play forever? I'm like, dude, why are video games designed to have fun? I'm being a self-caricature right now. I've dug myself into a hole I don't know how to get out of it. Gamers rise up. Okay. Good stuff. Like I told you, we're gonna win. We must have broken stopwatch. And this is a decent start to a new streak. I think, at least. And let's, again, I've got to get myself out of this streak mentality. Get myself back in the mentality that it's not the streak that matters. It's consistently good play that matters the most. Dude, Bomber Boy is highly frightening here. What's happening, Peter? I'm confused. No! What is this terrifying run? Okay, we have 66 sad Bomber Boy bombs that may also scatter. They do not scatter, okay. Still, we're gonna throw like one bomb down in every single room. That should be enough to finish the job and get me back on more stable footing for the future. I hope you guys weren't too bummed out by the end of the streak, or maybe you were stoked for the end of the streak. I don't know, sometimes you never know until the streak's over. People, you know, in hushed corners that they think I don't pay attention to, they go, I'm glad the streak's over, because he was playing too conservatively. He was talking too much about the game and not enough about his prodigious amount of body hair. Okay, well, you know, feel free to keep that conversation in hushed tones in places where you don't think I'm paying attention to it. Rather than bringing the criticism up to somebody who could actually solve the problem in the first place. But I digress. Sometimes it just feels nice to complain, and I know that just as much as anybody. We're done. I can't believe it was a 30-minute run after all that. For now, thanks for watching. 1 is the most important number. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Follow me on Twitch as well if you want to see some Smash, especially twitch.tv/Northernlion. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!